What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, Nick Ballz. Welcome back to my channel. So, I said I would come out with my next video and I would talk a little bit about how I became a multi-Dogeillionaire. And this was in 2014. I found out about Doge in 2013. But if we really want to get back into it, the story begins in 2012, because in 2012 I found out about Bitcoin. And I mentioned, I think on Jerry's show, or maybe it was with Papa Upshot, that in 2012 I was working a dead-end job. I'm not sure if maybe you don't have this in your town, but Best Buy in America, they have a service there called DirecTV, and you can get it at your house. It's just an alternative to cable. And I worked for a subsidiary company that my job was basically to harass people at Best Buys. And I did that for a few years. And basically, if you bought a TV, I would come up to you and try to get you to buy DirecTV. And it was terrible. I would spend 13 hours a day on my feet. And towards the end, I would spend 5 hours a day at the Olive Garden across the street getting drunk. And at one of those periods at the Olive Garden, I heard about Bitcoin. It was on the news at the time, and I believe this was 2012. This is where I first learned about cryptocurrencies. So 2012 comes, Bitcoin was, I think at its first peak, it might have hit $100 or $200, and I knew then that cryptocurrency was the future of something. What that thing was, I was not sure. Flash forward a year, I was in the Doge Reddit online talking to other people who were into Doge, and I found out about the Reddit. I'm not even really sure how. It was probably from the Doge meme. And I essentially just got into the Reddit, started talking with people. Everyone was super cool, and still are super cool in the community as a whole. So I decided to check out the Reddit and really just get involved with the community. And that was late 2013. And early 2014, I decided to make my first Dogecoin purchase. And this was, I told Papa Upshot, I think I bought in, my first buy was about 4 million coins, and that was 0.0007. Now, I bought some more after that, and I don't know what I think I averaged down, so who knows what my average price was. At that point in time, I was 20-something years old, and I wasn't keeping track of numbers like I am now. So, how did I acquire these Dogecoin, you might ask? I did possibly one of the stupidest things you could ever do. And keep in mind, I'm not a financial advisor. Do not take this as financial advice. And if you do, it's probably going to end poorly for you. Just so happened that it did not end poorly for me, but it could have gone terribly wrong. At the time, I needed to build my credit. And I knew that having a credit card and paying that off was a good thing to build your credit. But I knew that bank loans were available. And you could pretty much get them for however much you needed, up to like $50,000. And the interest rates at the time were reasonable. They weren't the best, but they weren't super duper high. So I went to my local bank and I took out my first bank loan, and it was for $15,000. Now I used some of that $15,000 to buy Bitcoin. I used some of it to buy Litecoin, but I used a majority of it to buy Doge. And after I did this, I felt like I was on top of the world. I was telling everyone to buy Doge. And it got to be a little annoying at some point. I'm sure people wanted to kill me. I remember I went out to, in America we have a holiday, kind of, called Blackout Wednesday, where it's the night before New Year's Eve. And you go out to the bars, and usually everybody comes home from college, and it's like a high school reunion. And I don't know, I wouldn't say I was popular in high school or anything like that, but I just like seeing people that I used to, you know, that I used to hang out with, and I used to, I remember from the old days. So we all met up at this bar that's right down the street, and I had a few cocktails, and I began telling everyone I knew about Doge, and people were looking at me like I was insane. Like, some people had heard about Bitcoin, but very few. And this was even in 2014. Bitcoin was still like kind of underground. Not totally, but people had heard about it, but they really didn't know what it was. So I was telling everyone that I could about Doge, primarily for the community, because when Doge first blew up in 2014, everybody was doing great things. There was great projects being done, and great opportunities for humanitarian efforts, and I thought that was really important, especially in Doge. So I was just letting everybody know, and a lot of people were asking me how to buy it. I was pointing them in certain directions. I had a friend at the time who ended up becoming a business partner of mine, and together we joined forces, and he bought in with me. And I ended up holding his coins for 7 years, and I just recently gave him back, or gave him to him. So this was, early 2014, and I basically used my Doge for tipping, primarily on Facebook, and then donating to all of the projects that Doge was running at the time. Now, after that point, I also took out more, after I paid off that initial bank loan just by working it off, I also took out more bank loans and kind of repeated the process over the years. More so with Bitcoin, because a Doge became hard to come by at some point. Like nobody was buying or selling, the trading volume just tanked, and the price really never went anywhere. One thing that I did get right in this whole 7-year journey to becoming a multi-Dogeillionaire was basically forgetting the Doge that I had. It's not that I completely forgot about it, but I just kind of forgot about it. I stopped even conversing in the community. I kind of just let all of my cryptocurrency sit and never even opened the wallets. I didn't even touch it. Any of my cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Litecoin, the Doge, I just let it sit on my computer, and I ended up getting a different computer, and that computer just kind of sat. So I just forgot about it after a while. I knew it was there. I never really forgot about it, but I just kind of got into other stuff. Now flash forward 7 years later, here we are. Cut to January, February maybe, whenever Doge first popped off. And I get a message from a friend asking me if I was a multi-millionaire. And that's a strange question to be asked. I thought that was very odd. And I thought maybe they knew that I had won the lottery or Powerball or something. I don't know. And I was like, what are you talking about? And they're like, dude, you got to go look at Doge right now. And I did. And I freaked out. And I started tearing my house apart, knowing that I had the computer right in front of me, that I had the Doge on. I just hadn't started it up in a while. And I had the wallet. I got the computer running. I got the wallet open. Of course, it was 7 years behind, so that had to sync. So I'm now, only thing I'm missing is the password. And in my mind's eye, I could remember what the password was written down on. I could see in my mind the piece of paper that I wrote this password on. And I just knew I could find it. And after about 2 hours of tearing my room apart, and I wish I could have taken, I should have taken a picture after this whole thing happened, because my room looked like, you can, this is my brother's room, but we're not messy people. My room was just, looked like a bomb went off. It was crap everywhere. It was insane. So after that, I pulled out this box, and this was the last thing I checked. I'm like, if it's not in here, it's nowhere. And I opened the box, and right on top is the notebook I used to record all of my cryptocurrency stuff. And there was the password. And oh my God, it was just a sigh of relief. But then I had to figure out how to get the wallet to sync. Keep in mind, this wallet hadn't been opened in 7 years. So I had to get on Reddit, and luckily, this is the greatest thing about the Doge community. I connected with an individual who helped me figure out a script to get the wallet to sync to current network spec, and he provided me with a list of all current North American nodes, which at the time there weren't very many. And when Doge first popped off, it was still a process to get your wallet to update. It really wasn't that fast. Now Doge developers are working on the program again, and they've updated the wallet specs to be able to sync within minutes. So I'm syncing my wallet regularly now, and it syncs almost instantly. I mean, the syncing is incredibly fast. And transactions in Doge have always been very quick, and now they're lightning fast, which is a great proof of use case for the currency as a whole. And this is why we should be we all should be focusing on Doge, because it's a transactable currency. You can actually use this. It's not a Bitcoin that costs $60,000. We're not talking about a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of something. You can spend Doge and not feel bad about it. And we all should be taking steps forward to making Doge more user-friendly and more accessible to more people. That includes you, Coinbase. So, I just wanted to tell this story. I know it was a little bit of a long rant, but I feel that people should understand that Doge to $1 is a realistic goal. Probably in the next 3 to 5 years. For me, Doge to 8 or 9 cents took 7 years. So I've been getting messages constantly, when is Doge going to $1? Why is it going down 1%? Why is it going up 1%? Relax. It's going to take some time. But if you can hold on, and you don't mind holding on, for 3 to 5 years, we could see Doge at $1. I believe in that time frame realistically. Now that doesn't mean that there isn't something that will come along that could blow Doge up overnight. Doge is the complete outlier of all cryptocurrencies. Anything could happen with Doge, and that's why I love it. It's a great cryptocurrency, and it's so much fun. So thanks for checking my video out. Thanks for listening to my crazy story. And remember to like and subscribe.